Okay, we are ready to upload our web files to our web server. In our case, what we are doing is installing WordPress in our web server. So in this class, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step guide on how to install WordPress manually in the control panel hosting. Okay, in the next class, we'll look at how to use the app installer in control panel to install WordPress. That is if your hosting service provider have the app installer. Okay, but in this class, the WordPress manual installation, we are going to be working with a to-do list. Okay, some a kind of guide, a steps guide that will help us take the right steps to doing this manual installation correctly. Okay, first, first thing we are going to be doing is to first of all download the free WordPress content management system from wordpress.org.download. Then once we do that, we are going to log into our control panel and upload the WordPress zip file, which is the one that we'll download from here. Then also we'll now create a database, then and also create a database user and add the user we created to the database we created. Now don't worry, this will be very clear once we start the process, but this is just what we are going to go through in this process. And also, after we have done that, we'll now install WordPress from the front end. Now these are the steps we are going to take to be able to install WordPress manually in our web server. So we are going to get started with it now, and the first step in the process is to download free WordPress content management system for wordpress.org. So let's get started with that first. Okay, to download the WordPress zip file, we have to go to the WordPress download page. That is wordpress.org/download. This is where you get the WordPress zip file. So once you go through that, it will load you up to this page. Now this is what we have here. From here you can download other applications from wordpress.org. We are going to come to some of these for sure, like the theme and plugins. We'll be using most of these things as we progress, but for now we are here for the WordPress raw file. That is the structure that make up the WordPress content management system. That is what we want to download now. We are going to be needing other application to do other stuff later on. Now this is what they are telling us, that this framework, this WordPress system powers 35% of all web in the internet, and it's priceless and it's also free. So to download this package, we're just going to click on this download WordPress.5.3. Once we do that, the download process will start. You see it's downloading. The size is 12.7%. So I'm going to just be patient to allow it to all download. Just cancel this is not necessary. 10, 11, 12 is complete. So we have our WordPress zip file. If we go to my system download, you can find that file now. So this is the file we'll be using to download, to work. This is it here. This is the file we'll be using while we install our WordPress manually in the control panel. Now the next step in our process is to log into our control panel and upload the zip file we just downloaded. So this is the control panel area. So the next step in our process is to upload the zip file we downloaded from wordpress.org/download. And to upload that file, what you have to do is to come to your file, the file menu, come to your file manager. You click on the file manager, it's going to open another tab. Now this is where all the files, this is where your website or blog or whatever kind of web platform you are creating, this is where it's going to be stored, and from here it's going to be delivered to people who are searching for it online. And where it's going to always store is on the public HTML. This is the public public container that is going to be stored all your web content. So this is where we are supposed to download or upload our WordPress. This is where our WordPress is supposed to sit in. So we're going to open this file. Once you open it, this is just a basic this is just let me just type that our web address now, Jimmy's Farm. If you go to jimmysfarmnow.com, this is where you find inside. This is just like, this is my hosting company, this is my hosting service provider. This is just like a temporary page, because nothing has been uploaded on that panel. So this content here is what makes this construction in progress possible. So I don't need all these things. I'm going to just delete them because I want to bring in my website, my web content on this folder. So I'm just going to confirm it. I'm just going to delete them. So this is where we are going to be uploading our WordPress. To upload WordPress, you use the upload button. This is the upload button here. So I'm just going to click on the upload. Then it's going to prompt me to select that file I downloaded. So I'm going to click on select. It's going to lead me to my system. Then I'm going to scroll down to that. This is the file I just downloaded, the WordPress. This is the version. So I'm going to select it and click on open. So it's going to upload here. 100% means it's completed. So I'm going to just go back. If it's completed, I'm going to just go back to the this time the public HTML. I'm going to refresh it. So this is the public HTML is empty. Okay, let me do the downloading again. Probably didn't go very well. So okay, let me just override that. So this is the file here now. So the file is downloaded on the public HTML. So I'm going to unzip this file. This file is zipped. So I'm going to unzip it, extract. It's going to tell me where is it extracting on the public. I say yes. Let him just extract these files on this location. So this is the file. This is all the files that make up this. I don't need them to be on the folder. This is the public. I need them to be on this home page. I need them to be on this home page. So I'm going to move all this file on the home page. I'm going to move it on the distance and this detail. Just click on select all and click on move. And I'm going to wipe out this WordPress and let it move it to the main folder. So if I come to public HTML, you see all this file. So this is the folder. I think this folder should be empty now. Okay, it is. So I'll come to this. As it is, we don't need this. I can delete this. That is the folder where the contents were moved, and also the WordPress zip file, we can also delete it. So with this now, we have our website or our content management, our WordPress uploaded to our web server. So the next process now, we are going to come back to this what is it called, this file, our control panel admin area. The next process, I think, in this step process is to create a database and add a user to the database. So this is what we are going to do next. Okay, the next step in the process is to create a database, right? So this is where you access your database from your control panel admin area. You go to database. Now, database is part of the structure that makes the World Wide Web possible. Now, when it comes to web platform, database helps to store information or data, that makes it helps to also make it available for web searchers and all that. So it plays a a very important tool when it comes to hosting of websites or web content. So for us to do the installation proper of this website or this web platform we are building, we need to create a database, also create a database user, and also add the user to the database. Now this process is just simple, there is no big deal about it. Let it not sound technical to you. What we are going to do in this process is just to create a database, like a database. Then we are going to create a user that can manage this database. Now once we create that user, then we are going to add this user into this database so that the user will be able to access or manage this database. That is just a simple process. Okay, so I'm going to go straight to do the to do all these steps: create a database, create a user, and add the user to the database. To do that, on your database, on the control panel admin area, on the database, you click on MySQL database. So once you click on this will open to this space. Now this is where we can create new database. If you have already created database, you will find the details here. So this is there where we can this is where we can actually create new user and also add the user to the database. So the first step is to go first to create the database. So I'm going to just use any name for this. Let me just use NeedGG. Okay, this is a test this is a test process, so I'm going to just use this name. Once you type in any preferable name for your database, you click on create. So this is telling us that the database is already added. So you need to save this name. We'll be needing the name for other stuff that we'll be doing. So I'm going to copy this and save it in a notepad. If you have a book or a pen, you can just write it down. So I'm going to just, okay, Jimmy's FAG, this is the database name. So you have a book or whatever, you can just write it down, because we'll be needing this information as we do in the process of installing the WordPress. So let me just go back. We have created our database. The next process is to create a database user. The user, we can also use GCC as the user, just trying to differentiate. Let me use a password generator here. We'll just click on password generate password. I will use this. I will just copy it. Okay, then I'll put it here, paste it here, and also confirm it to make sure I'm right. Once it's okay, very strong and all that, I just click on create user. So I don't need to save it yet. So this is the password username. Let me go and save the password so I don't forget. Now this is the password for the user I just created, and this is the username. We'll be needing all this information, data db user. This is the username. So we'll be using this information as we try to do this WordPress installation proper. So I can go back now. So as it is now, we have created a database. We have also created a database user. Now the next step is to add the user to database. This is where we get the function. Now as we created the database user, this function appears. The name is already there. This is the username GCC, then this is the database. So all you need to do is just click on add to add the user to the database. And once you do that, you add, then you click on allow privilege. That means you want to allow the user to make changes to so many things on the database, which you click and you say make changes. This will give the user privilege to the database, many functions in the database. As it is now, the user is already added to the database. So that is it. We have created a database. It's just a simple process. You can try it, nothing to worry about. Try it and go back and try it. If you make a mistake, delete it and go back. You can rewatch this video and just probably jot down the steps and just go over it again. It's simple. From the MySQL, then you go to the MySQL database. MySQL will load you to the data, then you create your database. Once this database is created, you come down to the user and create a database username. Once the database username is created, you come down and add the user. That is just it. So simple. So as it is now, we have created our database. So the next step in the process is to do the installation proper. Okay, to install WordPress from the front end, we have all the information. We have our database details settled down. We have uploaded WordPress to our file manager. If you go to the public domain, our WordPress files are in the public domain. So we have everything sorted out. Now the next step is to do the installation proper. To do this, we have to access our site from the front end, and to do that, you can use this URL here, that is the domain name here, to access the WordPress or our site from the front end, then do the installation of the WordPress from the front end. Or you can just open a new tab and just type in our domain name, jimmysfarm.com. This will load us to our front end. Now this is it. This information appears here because of the files we have already uploaded in our public domain. You know, before it was showing under construction, because of we deleted those content and uploaded this WordPress site. This is why we are having here. So this is where we can now do the installation proper. Now here, this is the first process. We are going to choose our language. So I'm going to leave it in English, United States. We can go for UK if you choose to. We have that UK English if you choose to. So I'm going to go for UK English, or you can use United States, any of them. So it depends on your language or what you want. You can use other language. So you click on continue. Now, okay, it's loading. Now it's telling us what we need to make this hosting possible. Okay, it's telling us what we need. I think we already have this information here, so we are good to go. So we just click on let's go. So this is it. This is where we'll be needing all this information we created earlier. So I'm going to just go there and get my database name, which is Jimmy's G. Just copy it and come here. I'll provide it here. Then I'll get the database username. Copy this. Okay. Just copy it and provide it on the available here. Also the password. Where is that? So I get the password and also copy it. I put it here. Then the localhost, just leave it at default. Now this is the table. Now this is like if you intend to install like one or two WordPress in one with one database, you can just differentiate it. Now this is like in one database, this is like a table. So this is like you can just give this one a different name. This is a default name, so I'll just give it a name just to differentiate it. Okay, so another table, if I'm installing another WordPress in the same web server, I can also create another table. That means everything will be in one database but different table. That's just what this is all about. So we have gotten all the information we need to continue. Everything is filled up. Now we just click on submit. Now if our information is okay, the installation process will continue. Yeah, we are good to go. All right, sunshine. That means everything is set. Now we can just run the installation. Okay, now this is just your site configuration. Actually all this stuff you can do this later on. What is your site? Let me just give it Jimmy's farm. Okay, now this username is important. This is the name you are going to use to log into your WordPress. Not your control panel. Now this is your WordPress, where you can now make the you can design and do the beautification and designing of your WordPress site. So you have to create a username and password that you can use to log into this platform. So let me just create a simple name I can remember. At default, you can use admin, or let me use farm 12. Then I can just use this generated password. Okay, let me just put it here so that I won't forget. Okay, WordPress admin. Let me just differentiate it. WordPress admin farm 12 password. So these are the information we need. Which email? I can just use this ones we can set this. Let me just use info for info at farm. Okay, let me just use a customized image at the farm. But if you have Gmail or any other email, you can use it for it. Doesn't matter. You can actually make changes to the email later on. So once you provide this information, but what is much important here is your username and password, because you'll be using this to log into your WordPress to edit your WordPress and do some other settings, which we'll be doing in other videos. So once you provide all this information, just click on install, and your WordPress will finally go through the last installation process. I'll just no need of saving the password. I'll just log in. Success. That means everything is okay. Thank you. You enjoy. That means we are good to go. Let me just log into this so that you see our newly installed WordPress. So now I can provide this the username we created, username 12. Then let me go get the password. Okay. Then I provide the password. With this now I can log into the WordPress admin area. Congratulations, you have just installed a WordPress through a manual process. Now this is your WordPress admin area. From this end you can do some other beautification of your site and all that. Now let's visit our site from front end. Now this is what people who are searching for your site will be seeing once they visit your website. Don't worry, we are going to work on this. We're going to give it some different look to what we need. But this is what other people will see. If you go straight and search on this WordPress Jimmy's Farm, this is what you'll be getting. But we're going to work on this, beautify it to what we need. Well, congratulations, you have just installed WordPress through a manual process. Now the reason why you might want to install WordPress manually is if your hosting service or hosting company doesn't have a app installer. If they doesn't have app installer like this tools here for you to install WordPress, you can actually go through this process we have just done now. It's a little bit lengthy, but you can achieve the same result with someone who uses these tools here. So that is just it. In the next video I'm going to show you how to install WordPress using this app installer. But now we are successful. We have just installed WordPress. We have just we are 1 inch closer to becoming a web designer professional. I hope this video helps you or helps you understand how to install WordPress manually. If you have any question, just leave it below